What's up, everybody? This your boy Shinobi. What up, fam? How y'all doing? Wanted to drop some videos about what is the hottest, hot of anime right now. We're in the winter 2022 season, and there's some gems out there. So I thought I'd put together something to just show you some of the stuff that I'm vibing to right now, and something I think that everybody might can get into. It might be a few gems that slipping through the crack, and wanted to point them out. First, we're gonna get into is Arifureta. Arifureta was hot. Arifureta actually came out in 2019. It's the second season of the popular Seki fantasy show, and it's actually streaming right now. You can find it in English dub, or sub. Arifureta was from Commonplace to the World's Strongest. So it's originally a web novel that was published back in 2015, and the series actually jumped, I think, in 2016 to have the manga adaptation of it. The first season, like I said, jumped off, it was in July to October of 2019, and I think it started off with 13 episodes. The second season we have going on right now of Arifureta premiered January 2022 with 5 episodes being released. The series follows my boy Hajime. Hajime was transported to this other world and the rest of his class to fight in a war against the demon race. After he was betrayed and left to die by one of his classmates, Hajime begins his journey to improve himself and to find a way home. In the Land of Leadale, all right, another OP isekai. You got my girl, Kiene Kagame, who actually in the real world is on life support. We don't know if she's dying or her body's failing, but the one thing she can do is escape to her favorite VR MMORPG, the world of Leadale. But something happens when she goes to sleep in a hospital room, and then she wakes up, and she doesn't even remember putting on her headset, and she wakes up in her favorite game. But no, she's no longer herself. She's actually fully embraced and became her avatar, Kana. Or in the show, everybody calls her Little Missy. The flip on this one is, which is cool, is that she actually has kids, she has grandkids, but she checks all the normal Seki boxes. Where she's hella OP, no one can stand up to her. It's funny as hell. But something in this world doesn't seem quite. It's not the world that she remembers in the game. Everything is a little bit different, being for the fact that everything is completely real now. And I think one of the subtexts of the mystery is, how did she get transported into this world? Is it a dream or is it real? That's the thing for you to figure out. But I think the thing to add it with her grandkids and kids and her being OP and then the comedy is definitely one for you to check out. In the Land of Leadale, check it. She professed herself the pupil of the wise man. Sakimoto Kagame has woken up in the world of the Arch Earth Online. Arch Earth Online is his favorite VR MMORPG. You see, it's a theme going on with isekais right now. And the cool thing about this one is that, well, funny, he actually is a combination of Gandalf and Merlin. That's his character in the game. He goes around, he's one of the wise men. You got the 9 wise men who go around the world, righting the wrongs of evil and beholden to their kings, which in real life, they're the king that he works for is his best friend. They play the game together. But after this big battle, he buys an appearance change, but he doesn't think he saved it. He in his mind, he wants to create an avatar of the cutest girl he ever could dream of in the real world. But he thinks he doesn't save, goes to sleep. Somehow he wakes up, and instead of being the bearded old man that he always has been in the game, he's this cute girl, and he doesn't know how he became this little cute girl. And he's not only in part of the game, he's actually in the world now. But how can he convince people that he's still the most all-powerful wise man that people know him to be? He can't. So what he does, he goes on a journey to tell everybody he's the pupil. He has to profess himself that he's the pupil of the wise man. And somehow between the time when he goes to sleep until this new character, it has been 30 years has passed in the game. And that begins this journey of she professed herself the pupil of the wise man. Great isekai, doesn't change anything. It's not inventing anything new. It checks the box of action, adventure, fantasy, gender bending, magic, MMORPG, monsters, all the things we come to expect. But does it make it bad? No, not at all. It's funny, it's cute, and if you enter the gender bending thing, I think you'll be into this also. The strongest sage with the weakest crest. This anime starts off in the world of magic. In this world, magic, powers, everything is predetermined at birth. Everybody's born with these things called marks. Marks are 4 symbols that categorize a human's aptitude for magic. and each they tell you your place in the magic system of the world. But when the anime starts off, you have this incredibly powerful wizard who decides that he has learned everything he needed to learn right now, and the only way for him to attain a new power rank is to be reborn. So he does a spell to reincarnate himself in the future, thousands of years in the future, of a little boy named Mathis. When he gets his consciousness in the future, the Sage Reborn, of the 6-year-old boy who was the third son of a Duke's family, he attains the mark of close combat that he always wanted, because in his time this mark was powerful. Unfortunately, he discovers that mankind's knowledge of magic and swordsmanship has drastically deteriorated in this new world. Only like crappy magic equipment, crappy magic spells, and a lot of spells that he's known in his time has disappeared. And to add insult to injury, his current mark that he wanted so badly is viewed as the worst and the weakest. This is what Mathis now, when he becomes 12 years old, he goes to the academy because he's shown the world that his swordsmanship and magic is unparalleled. And this began his adventure to prove that the weakest Crest is in fact the strongest. It's definitely a great show. Is it anything new? You got action, you got adventure, you got fantasy, it's a isekai, it's everything you want. Stir it in a little pot, you have a great adventure and a great show to lose yourself. Attack of the Titans, final season, part 2, Shingeki no Kyojin. Where to begin with this one? I can't believe we are in the final season. The truth of the world and the outside of the Titans and everything has been revealed. The human race has sacrificed far too much to get to this point, and yet they got to continue moving forward. I think most of the people, the symbol of freedom is getting outside of the walls and seeing the ocean, something Eren and the crew have done. 6 years has passed since the first Colossal Titans, and the Survey Corps has continued to investigate the walls outside of Moria. And I think the thing that's going on with this is that, this show has been like an onion. Every time you get one layer peels apart, you got another layer underneath it. Attack of the Titans is set in a world where humanity lives inside cities surrounded by enormous walls that protect them from the Titans, giant people that eat other people. The story centers on Eren Yeager and his adopted sister Mikasa and their childhood friend Armin, whose lives are changed forever when the appearance of a colossal Titan. And that's where the story just starts. Vowing revenge. When these Titans eat his mama, they go out on a journey to find out what's going on. Should they destroy all these Titans, and what's the secret to the Titans and the secrets of his dad? With this being the final season of Shingeki no Kyojin, this is a must-see and a much-watch. How a realistic hero rebuilt the kingdom, season 2. Kazuya Sama found himself summoned to another world, and his adventures, they didn't start like the normal Isekai did. After he's presented with the plan to strengthen the country, economics, and military to the king decides that, you know what, you might be better to run this king to me. So Sama finds himself running the nation. So most of the time, these kind of shows, they summon a hero from another world to be the greatest warrior, the greatest sorcerer, the greatest whatever. But he didn't come to this world with those kind of gifts. He comes to this world with accounting knowledge, agricultural knowledge how to, the best way to run a government, So he rebuilds the kingdom in definitely a non-traditional way. And that's what makes this show so great. Definitely not something that I normally would watch, but after watching the first couple of episodes, and I try to give anime like 1 to 4 episodes, I definitely was hooked. And Sama, in order to get the country back on its feet, the first thing he does is call the wise, the talented, the gifted, everybody that to his side that he think can help the country, because everyone has a vested interest in this. And that's when the story really begins. Now in season 2, we continue on what happened in season 1, and this is definitely something to keep on your radar. It's definitely underrated, but it's definitely something I think you will enjoy watching. The Genius Prince's Guide to Raising a Nation Out of Debt. It ain't easy being a genius, and my boy Prince Wayne is ready to commit treason. And who can blame him, faced with the crazy impossible task of ruling his pathetic little kingdom from his point of view. This poor guy, he just can't catch a break. But he had a crazy plan of auctioning off his country's assets, and the lazy prince thought he had it all under control until this plan, which just the crazy thing that he wanted to just sell every part of his country and get out of town with his fine ass best friend for the academy. But the problem is, every time he gets into a battle, he wins. That's a problem. The thing with Wayne is that he's a good guy. He's good at what he does. He's a great warrior. He's a great tactician. And all he wants to do is leave town. But every time he gets into this situation, he keeps winning. And when he wins, the country loves him for it. And so he tries to lose, but being the genius, it's hard for him to lose. And I think that's the funny part of this show. So you want a show that kind of flips it on the head and just, it's a great fun show to watch. The Genius Prince's Guide to Raising the Nation Out of Debt is definitely one you should check out. Ranking of Kings. Where to begin with this one? The story centers around Boji, a deaf and powerless prince who cannot even wield a children's sword. As the firstborn son, he strives hard and dreams of becoming the world's greatest king. However, people behind his back mutter he's a good-for-nothing prince. No way he can ever be cream. Boji is able to make his first friend, actually, is Kage, literally a shadow on the ground, and they become fast friends. The story begins, the story is basically a coming of age story. And when I first saw this was being talked about, I saw the trailer, I was like, there's no way that this is for me. You know, yes, the animation, I don't know, some people complain about the animation. It looks definitely like Studio Ghibli, but it didn't look like it was anything for me. But I had to go back to my initial say, give something 1 to 4 episodes and then make a judgment call. Oh my God, this story just came out of left field. I wouldn't have to say it's probably, I have one other show that I love, but this is probably my most favorite show of winter 2022. It is a great show. It throws all of your normal tropes out the window completely. If I want to say it's one show on this list that it is a must watch for anybody who wants to see a good coming of age story, a good fantasy, a good adventure story, a good story about someone who traditionally is not a hero in any sense of the word, this will be the show for you. The Ranking of Kings is a must watch. Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, Entertainment District arc. This don't even need any introduction whatsoever. Demon Slayer, since it came out, has been the hotness of the hotness. We're gonna follow Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke as they're aided by the Hashira Tengen. My ninja boy, man, I got so much to talk about this guy, but we're gonna keep it short. This time, the group is going to the entertainment red light district to hunt down a demon that's been causing trouble, to eliminate him. This show, I want to say that this is the epitome of action combat. Is the story the greatest story on planet Earth? No way, shape, or form. But I think it's the best right now, the best action combat anime, period. Yes, this is it. If you want to see crazy fights with crazy abilities, and this is the kind of show that you see fights and you're gonna stand up, you go, oh my God, I can't believe that just happened. My boy, and I love that you see Tanjiro's evolution in this entertainment district arc, because he's tapping into things and gifts that he didn't even know he has. And then you start to unravel, that you start to see a little bit what was going on with his dad, what's going on with his family. You start to get in these hypotheses in your mind, and when you see his fights and what's developing, what's really going on with his family, is these gifts, where do these gifts come from? But again, this is the show to watch crazy fights, and watching my boy Zenitsu and Inosuke and seeing their development also is a feast for my eyes. So definitely check out Demon Slayer. It is on the list. You got to check this out.